Hello, it's Liz. Welcome to the next edition of Lunchtime with Liz. I'm going to sit down today and just relax. I don't know when you're watching this, if it's, watching it the first time around or later on, but it is the week of Thanksgiving. So I'm just going to sit down and relax a little bit. There's a lot going on at the end of the week. So let me show you. This is the card that I'll be doing today. Isn't it cute? Look at that. So cute. Okay, so this stamp set is Peekaboo Farm. And maybe it's a little bit childish, maybe, is the first thought we look at and think this is just for children. But honestly, if someone sent this to me, I think he's adorable. So it's not just for children. But you have on here all different farm animals. And the sayings are, hello there, life is better with you, sending hugs, miss you. So super sweet. All right. So that's the stamps that I'll be using. And this is the card that we'll be making. But there's a little peekaboo, sort of. The stamp set itself is called Peekaboo Farm, but I want to show you something later on with this. Okay, so let me put that aside and pull out of our pieces that I'll be using. Sorry. So we have a basic white, which is 4 1/4 by 11, and this is a 8 1/2 by 11 sheet of cardstock, just cut in half. Just typically, I cut the opposite direction. And this time we're going to be cutting it so that it's very long vertically. Okay. So I'll be using Smoky Slate 4 by 5 1/4. I have a piece of black, basic black 2 1/4 by 3. This is another piece of white 2 by 2 3/4. And this is Blushing Bride 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. Okay, so those are your pieces of cardstock that you'll be using. I'll be using Memento Ink. I know my top of my ink pad looks pretty bad, but it's all right. The ink pad is fine. I will be using some Terran tape. Terran tape is fantastic if you need a really extra strong hold. I use this if I'm going to be making like a 3D project where it's going to be, maybe you're going to put candy in it. It just needs to be stronger. And I'll show you in a minute why we're using this on this card. But Terran tape, and then of course dimensionals. And then I'm going to be pulling in some Stampin Blends. If you haven't discovered these yet, love them. I'm using Smoky Slate, Pink Pirouette, which is not a current color anymore, but it goes well with the Blushing Bride in this case. And then I'll be using this. This one is just black, I think. Yeah, dark basic black. Okay. And one more, I will be using an embossing folder, the Brick and Mortar embossing folder. Okay, so let's get started and we'll actually do that first. Let me pull this up here. Let's see how that's looking for you guys. All right, kind of close up. That's okay. So when I'm using these thick embossing folders, I just want this base plate, the folder, and this gray piece. Actually, you know what we need to do? Sorry about that, guys. It's really hard to stamp on it once it's embossed. So it's better to stamp first and then emboss. So let's go ahead and stamp this first with hello there. Let's get that off of there. Okay. I stamp much better when I'm standing up. So let me stand up for a second. All right, there's hello there. Now we're going to run it through the embossing folder. Okay, and your front of your embossing folder is the side that says Stampin' Up on it. So I'm going to lay this through the Brick and Mortar. It's funny, I homeschooled for years and years and years. And we would say, like, I homeschool, or you can cyber school, or you can send your kids to a brick and mortar. And it was funny, the people that would say brick and mortar just means like a traditional school, what you would think of. So anyway, anytime I see that folder that says brick and mortar, it reminds me of that. Okay, let's pull that aside. And we're done with that. Okay, so this is our piece now. It's been embossed. You have hello there. I'm going to set that aside. Let's move on to our little piggy. Okay, this is where the bulk of the work is going to be on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the wall. And the wall has these little cutouts on the top where the little piggy feet will go. Feet. Listen to me. Words are hard. Where the piggy feet will go. So I'm going to stamp the wall here. There we go. That's not a great one. Let's do that. We're going to flip it over. We have fancy two-sided paper, so when you don't like what you have, you can flip it over. And I'm going to flip it over and do this again. Ah, much better. Much better. All right. Let's get our piggy out of here. I didn't even get him out of the stamp set. Okay. There's our piggy. Let's put him on there. All right. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the piggy. And we're going to, because he's clear, I can see through. We're going to put his little hoofs, paws, feet. I don't know what pig have. Pig's feet, I guess. Pig, so feet. We're going to put his feet right in there. Voila. Look how cute he is. All right. Let's close that up, and then I'm going to pull in my blends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this pink pirouette. Again, this is a retired color, but you can do this with any of them. There's a light and a dark. So I'm going to take the dark, and I'm just going to do dark around the edges. And I'm not even really, honestly, being like super exact about it. Make sure you can see this here. Just doing some dark around the edges. I'm going to make his feet, so I'm kind of doing them all dark. Okay? And then I'm going to bring in the light color. And I'm going to pull. Pull from the dark in. And the more you do it, when you first start, you think, well, I don't really see anything. Just keep going. Keep going. They are alcohol-based markers. So I'm pulling from the outer edge in. And I'm just going to keep going until it's blended. Just make sure that you have something underneath when you're doing this, because if you look on the back, it will bleed through. Blender pens, I've said this before, these Stampin' Blends, sorry, not blender pens, that's something different. These Stampin' Blends have made me like to color. It wasn't something I necessarily enjoyed prior. And then we're just going to do light on his nose. Okay. And there's my little piggy. He's got shading around the outside edges. Okay, I'm going to take the dark. I'm going to take my dark. This is, let's see, this one is dark smoky slate. Okay, there are little tiny areas in here, so your blends have a brush end and then a bullet end. We're going to take the bullet end because they're tiny little areas. And I'm going to do parts. I'm not doing all of it in here because, again, I want shading. So I'm only going to color various areas in here, not the whole thing. Just to give a variation in the middle. Okay, so that was the dark. Now I'm going to take the light one, and I'm just going to go over that. Starting in what you already colored, I'm going to start there and pull out so that it blends and shades. These blend markers are only sold in pairs, so you have to purchase the dark and light together. As far as which ones to start with, I've had people ask me that, which ones to start with. I would start with some greens, Get some kind of a green because you can use that for leaves, which is great. So start with a green, definitely, and then start working your way into colors that you would like. If you're going to do, if you think you're going to be doing a lot of flowers, maybe you want to pick out, you know, the purple or some reds. If you want to do more earthy woods type things, there's like a brown color, but I would definitely start with a green because that's great to do for leaves. But they are $9 a set, so they are adult markers is what I call them. They're not something I would use for small young children. Okay, there we go, and that gives a little variation in the colors. There's some little darker areas and lighter areas. Then I'm going to go in with the black. This one is black. And again, like the piggy, I'm just going to do areas of the black. And if you go a little bit out, it's not a big deal. Remember, it's a stone wall. Okay, there we go. All right. And then I'm going back with my light color. This is my light smoky slate. It's a lot of back and forth, but the end result is just beautiful. Now I'm going to start where the dark is, where I did the black, and I'm pulling from that. And I'm going to keep going until my line disappeared. Actually, you know what, guys? I'm going to go and do my dark smoky slate. It's a little too much of a difference between the light smoky slate and the black. So I'm going to do the dark smoky slate. There we go. That's much better. Okay. Hey, live TV, right? Okay. And you just keep going until the line disappears so you have a blended look. And it's almost like the more color you add, just the better it looks. So if you're not like, see, if I don't know if you see right there where it's dark, then just keep going. Keep going till the line disappears, till it blurs. Okay, I kind of do this quickly, so you don't have to watch all of this. This is going to be definitely a quickie version. Okay, so my biggest suggestion with these is just play around with it. Stamp Memento Ink black and then just start playing. But the more ink you put on, the more it shades. So I think sometimes when someone says, oh, I don't see it really shading too much, I think you need to keep going. You just haven't gone far enough. Okay, I think that's pretty good. Love it. Okay, guys. And there you have it. There's your wall. Okay, look at that. Cute. Cute, cute. All right, let's start assembling. This is the easy part, right? And there's the back is messy. So again, you want to make sure you have something underneath it when you're working. Let's take the little pig, put him on here. Okay. And then I'm going to put dimensionals on the back so he can pop up a little bit. There we go. I'm so thankful that you're watching, and a few people have started sharing. I love that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Feel free to hit the like button, the little thumbs up if you're liking what you're seeing. If there's something specific you'd like to see, please feel free to let me know that also. All right, look at, there's our piggy. Cute. Hello there. All right, I already scored the card base, so I'm going to fold that in half. And we're going to bone folder that. Ah, I just came to the end, I think. No, I just ripped my paper a little bit. If you end up not with adhesive, take your finger and just roll it a little bit. There we go. Okay. I'm going to take that and put that on my card base. All right. Now, any card you have can be turned into, watch this. There's the original card I made. Can be turned into a gift card holder. Da-da-da! And there you go. And this is why I'm using tear and tape to make sure this piece holds on really well when the card goes in or out. Okay? So all I did for that, this is just a regular card. You can leave it this way. Or if you want to make it into a gift card holder, I grabbed a piece of cardstock, 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. I will tell you this 4 1/4, I just trimmed off just a smidge, just itty bit, 1/16 inch maybe. Just so that it has a little bit of space on the end. Actually, this one goes end to end. Okay, well, I'm going to trim off just a tiny little bit on the end. Just the smallest little bit. That's it. Okay, and then I used a little circle punch. We don't have the circle punch in the catalog anymore, but I'm thinking most of you, if you're crafting, you have some kind of a circle punch. The exact sizing doesn't really matter. Or there's circles with the Big Shot or the cut and emboss machine. So something you can use to cut a circle, and I'm just going halfway in and punch that out. And then we'll take tear and tape. And I want to put it on the very edge so that you have plenty of room to put that gift card in there. Just on the very edge of that, okay? Press those on real well, and then we're going to peel off the covering. Okay, those are coming off pretty well. Sometimes they're little buggers. Okay, there we go. Make sure you are on the right side of your card. And then I'm going to take this and just set this down here at the bottom. And there you go. And now you have a gift card holder. And your gift card can slide right inside there. And you can still write your greeting, and you're all good to go. So there you go. There's your little Peekaboo Farm stamp set, along with a Peekaboo gift card holder that you can attach inside. So that's it. Hope you had a great time watching. And again, feel free to share this video with someone else who you think might enjoy. Thanks so much, guys. Bye-bye.